Hello, 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 my friends. This is your grateful friend, Sandra Graves. And I want to talk to you about single moms. Yes, yes, yes. You know, this channel is all about single mom. And the whole point is to bring you different different single moms and ex-single moms like myself to come and share their wisdom, their experiences, their challenges, and their successes with you. And today, I have an amazing woman, a woman that is focused on success, and not just success, but having a relationship with finances, which most single moms don't usually think about all the time. So the whole point of having a relationship with your finances is because you put so much effort into other relationships. So let's see what we can do to help you have more relationships with your finances. And with this, I am going to introduce you to Nagle, and she is going to talk to you more about first who is Tedona, which is a beautiful name, like the woman that we are seeing, beautiful too. And let me tell you, she's pretty smart. Okay, so let's hear what Tedona have to say. Tedona, all yours.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for that introduction. And thank you so much for today. I really appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your platform, you connecting all of these single moms and former single moms. So like you mentioned, my name is Tedona Nagle. I'm actually a former single mom. I was single parenting for 4 years. My 2 children. I am married now. However, I am single parenting because my husband is in the military and he's always away. So I am the one home with the children parenting all the time while running a business. A little bit about my background. I have 15 years experience working in corporate America. I worked in finance most of that time. And it was difficult. It is difficult being a career woman and a single parent. And I did it for a very long time, felt the guilt trip of working 60 hours, having kids in daycare for 10 hours at a time, coming home, trying to spend time with them, make dinner. The struggle was real. And in 2018, I decided to quit my corporate job. And it was essentially a really big step because I was a single parent, right? I didn't have another job lined up. So it essentially sounds crazy, right? Like you're going to leave your corporate job and you don't have another job and you have mouths to feed. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. But I took that leap of faith and thank God I never had to look back. But part of the reason that I was able to really take that leap of faith is because I always had a good relationship with money. I always knew how to manage my finances very well. I made sure that I was saving consistently. I was investing consistently. And, once I left my corporate America, I started a business. So I started thinking about long-term longevity. What could I pass down to my children one day? How do I increase my net worth? Because at your job, you have a cap, right? They're only going to pay you but so much money for your time. But being a business owner, there really is no cap. So yes, it takes a lot of work being a business owner, but it's definitely no cap. And part of my business, I teach other people how to manage their finances. You may not want to necessarily quit your day job, but how do you manage the money that you have coming in? How do you get it to grow? How do you manage your debt? How do you manage your credit? How do you leave a legacy for your children? So those are all things that I, teach my students and my clients.
Oh, thank you for that powerful introduction. And I have a hard time believing you because you say that you have 15 years experience with that little baby face that you have. How could you have 15 years experience?
I started when I was like 2. No, I guess I'm older than I would think, Sandra.
I know you have. You started when you was like, what, 8 years? Yeah.
I started working in finance literally straight out of high school. I was fortunate enough to get an internship. I interned there throughout college. And then once I graduated college, I got a job working for another huge finance company. And I've been working in that corporate life for 15 years until I,
wow.
I guess fired my boss, as they say, and decided this is it.
Well, you got some good skin and it's speaking for itself. So thank you. Okay. So with that part that you said, that you were a single mom, let's go back to that one already. When you were a single mom, how did you handle your finances then? Because I know most of the single mom, I know when I was a single mom and I was, dealing with my finances, it was hard, right? So I have to make sure that I have some money because I'm all about having fun. Okay. I had to put away some money for fun, but then I had to get to this point where it's like, I want to give my kids a house. So I started saving up and putting money together so that I can buy a house, which I did. And how is it that you did when you were a single mom with your finances?
So when I became a single mom, it was obviously a little bit more of a challenge because now I didn't have two incomes like I had before. Granted, their father was in the picture. He was, paying child support for them, but I didn't have someone splitting all the bills with anymore. I was paying all the bills. So I definitely had to manage my money a lot better. And it takes sacrifices, right? I used to go to happy hour all the time. I used to go to girls' trips all the time. You kind of got to scale back some things, right? You have to make those temporary sacrifices for those long-term goals that you have. So I never stopped saving though. I never stopped saving just because my income decreased, or not to say my income decreased, but my household contribution. So I still consistently save, and that goes to paying yourself first. You need to save your money before you pay anything else. Like literally before you pay anything else, that money needs to come off your account off the top. So that always was the case. I have a separate savings account in a different institution than your checking, because that's kind of like the secret sauce. You can't have them in the same place, because then you're gonna see that money and keep transferring over whenever you want something. So you have to have a separate savings account and make sure you allocate a certain percent off the top before you pay your rent, before you pay electricity, before you buy your groceries, before you do anything else. Whatever that amount is that you determine you could save, you have to take it off the top. Because if you wait till you pay everything you have to pay, there's going to be nothing left. But you will find a way to pay what you need to pay after you save. You'll find a way to pay those bills with what's left over. So you have to save off the top. You have to pay yourself first in a separate account from your primary checking account.
I agree with that because for me, whatever money that I was making, I always, example, if I had a check that was $2,000, in my head, I knew that I didn't have a check for $2,000. I always assumed that I have a check for $1,800. Mm-hmm. And I never thought about the 2000 because that one was something that I was not going to focus on. And if you actually do that too, it's kind of like that saving. So I didn't focus on that. And that was the money that I put away all the time. It's just like, and no, this is the money that I have to work with. So I always had a little something to be able to do what I needed to do. But exactly. So sometimes you just have to trick your mind so that you can actually save up the money too.
Exactly. So having, an account where it just comes out automatically, where you set it up in your checking account, to your point, Sandra, it's saying you don't have this money. You already took it out before you realize that you had it there to spend. And then you live off of what's left. Exactly. And there are a lot of different apps that can do that automatically for you. You can do it in your own checking account, but there's account like Digit or Stash or Acorns that take it out automatically as well, or you can just set up that automatic transfer. I set up that automatic transfer. It comes automatically out of my account the day I get paid.
Yep. Mine used to be set up automatically too. I had one, and don't get me wrong, not at the beginning. At the beginning, it was just like, I'm going to keep this. And then I end up keeping it, but I end up spending it in whatever I wanted. I was candy, junk food, all of that was not saving. When I actually decided to do it the automatic way, then the money that the $1,800 was the one that I used for my junk food, not the $200. because
Yes.
the $200 was going to automatic. So even though you are saving the money, you have to understand why you are saving the money. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true. You definitely need to have some goals. And like you said, Sandra, you had a goal of buying a house. So a lot of people may have a goal of buying a house. Some people may have a goal of going on vacation. You may want to, like myself, resign from your job. So have something in mind that's a bigger goal. So you could say, I'm not going to touch this because it's for my future self. Whatever that future thing is that you want, you kind of have to stay focused on that. And it has to be bigger than whatever that short-term pleasure you're going to get from spending that money.
Well, I think you ladies are talking foolishness because I don't even have money to save up. Maybe you guys are educated and you have money and you can put away. She's talking like she has $2,000 check. I don't even have $2,000 check. How am I going to get that money? To those people that would say something like that, what would you say?
Say it is really good to start with a budget. And I know people hate that word budget, but really assess what are your bills every month. Because when you lay them out, okay, you have your rent, you have your utilities, you have your heat, you have your groceries, maybe you have your childcare, whatever it is, you have to pay. Like, let's add them up to see how much do you really, absolutely, not the stuff that you just kind of want to do, but the stuff that you absolutely have to do every single month. Add those up, right? Those are your necessities. See how much that totals to for the month, and then how much money do you bring in. And I'm going to say in most cases what you have to pay is less than your income, right? Because if it's not, then we really got to increase that income, because then you're not even covering your basic necessities. So once you see what that difference is between what you have to pay out and how much you make, that's how much you can save. I'm not going to say save the whole thing, right? If you realize that you have $200 that you can kind of flex with, maybe you won't say just take the whole $200 and save. That would be great, but maybe say $100. 100 I'm going to take off the top is going to go into a savings account, and that other 100 I'm gonna let it float around. So if something comes up that I want to do, I want to get my hair done, my nails done, I could do with that $100. Because
Yeah.
if you make it so that you have nothing, right, no extra money, then it's going to be really hard to continue it because you're going to feel unhappy that you don't have a little extra something to do with what you like.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you were saying something about focus on your net worth. What's that?
Yes. And I think a lot of people, not even just, women or single moms, but a lot of people in general don't focus on what their net worth is, right? So this is how much money do you actually have to your name once you deduct away all your debt that you have to pay. What is like your number? It's almost like your report card number, your credit score for your income. How much value do you have? When you hear a company is worth, like you hear Apple is $1 trillion company. You as a person, how much are you worth as a person right now? So that's really your assets. So a lot of times we're not thinking about how much we are worth. So you get your assets from things like your money, how much money you have in your checking account or your savings account. If you have a 401k or a brokerage account, how much money is in there. Even if you have a life insurance policy, like how much money accrued in there, that's how much money you are worth as a person. If something was to happen to you right now, this is how much money you could technically come up with. And you want to work on that number being as great as possible, right? You always want to be increasing that number. So, statistically, single Black moms has the lowest net worth in America. And a lot of times it's because we're focused on, taking care of our children, just getting by, that we're not thinking about having this positive, great net worth. We're just thinking about getting by. But you just want to take some time to do what you can do in terms of saving, investing, getting a side hustle, whatever you can do to make sure you can get your money up so that you have like a really good net worth.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But you mentioned something that I don't think it really have a lot to do with this, but I am going to add it anyway, because you mentioned about the life insurance part of it, if you have one or whatever. And single moms, if you don't have one, thank God I'm still alive. I'm 51 years old. But I always, no matter what went on in my life, I always had a life insurance for my children, because you never know what's going to happen. And you want them to be covered. They didn't have to use it, but they were always covered, because it is something that you don't think about. And especially something basic like a health insurance, right? The one where you temporary one, the one where you actually like get sick and you don't have that income coming in for 3-6 months. You can also get an insurance like that, which I used to have that, and it helped me when I was working, because it gave me that little bit of money other, so that I don't go back into my savings and build that money. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. And to your point, Sandra, a lot of people don't think about having an insurance policy, right? It's kind of a dark subject. People don't want to think about death or not being here. But if you have someone that relies on your income, then you should have an insurance policy, because if you're no longer here, how is that person going to survive without you? You can't necessarily expect that some family member is going to support your child until they become an adult. And the earlier you get it, it could be fairly inexpensive, but it's really incredible, because you can have a $500,000 policy or whatever you could afford. And if something happened to you, your child will be covered. They have that money that's going to be able to support them the whole time that you're not here. So that's really important. And there's also a lot of policies where you could accrue inside that insurance policy. So whatever you're contributing a month, it kind of goes to like a cash value. So hopefully your children don't have to actually use that policy. You could take out that money one day, right? And they can always be beneficiaries, but you could still take out some of the money that you were putting into that policy. So that's always benefits. And to your point, Sandra, the long-term disability, you never know what may happen to you. You can always take out something where if you are sick or out of work for whatever reason, a long period of time, some of us can't be out of work for 6 months if something happened to us. But if we were still getting a check for 6 months that could cover our expenses, instead of dipping into our savings or dipping into our retirement account, that's going to like really help save us tremendously.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you were saying none of us know, but I did have a friend that died, and she left her teenager and her daughter with nothing. She didn't have any life insurance, anything. So when their mom is gone, they couldn't even tell the apartment complex that their mom was dead, because they would get thrown out because nobody else was able to. So your finances are very important. Just like we talked about in the conversation, the relationship with your finances is important. Just like your relationship with your kids, with your boyfriend, with your friends, you have to build a relationship with your finances, because that is going to cover you and your kids. Tomorrow is not promised, but you can actually prepare for it, right?
Exactly. And that story with your friend, and as unfortunate as it is, it happens to a lot of people. They don't really think about what's going to happen when they're gone. They don't realize the financial repercussions that it can have on their family. There's so many people that may pass away. I have friends as well that had passed away at a young age and had 3 children. And, the family has GoFundMe pages up. And it's really unfortunate that there is nothing there to help support these kids, that the whole family have to come together, or friends, just sometimes to bury the person because they didn't have an insurance policy. And we kind of really have to be more mindful of that while we're here, to kind of prepare for that in advance.
Yeah. And like you said, people don't like to think about it, but you don't like to do a lot of things, but you have to do it anyway. Okay. So don't focus on, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. I think I scare my kids' pants off with just all the time, just in case something happened, you're going to stay with this sister, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. But let me tell you, when you have your finances in place, when you have your plan and all of that, if something ever happened to you, everybody come to take care of your kids, because there's money. When there's no money, people are going to split your kids if you have more than one. And they're going to put Peter here and Mary here and Gina here and whatever all over the place. If you have money and if you plan correctly, especially you single moms with a whole bunch of kids, it is not their fault that you have a lot of kids. It's your responsibility to take care of them now and until at least they reach 18, okay? So make sure that you plan ahead just in case something happened. Right, Tedana?
Yes, absolutely. And that's funny you should say that, Sandra, because I didn't think about the fact that when there's money involved, I'm sure people will step up to help a lot more. They're
I
like, oh,
always
there's
thought
a
about that.
$500,000 policy. Like,
I
I'll
take
take
care
you.
of them. I'm in. God told me that I was supposed to take care of those kids.
Exactly. So that's really important. And also something that I just thought about, even for my own mom, I know she has policies. She has communicated that to me. And I tell her, give me instructions. Let me know what are the policy numbers. Let me know who I should contact. Let me know what the passwords are to the accounts. Not to say you have to give it to me right now, right away, but give me access to it so that if something happens to you, you know, my mom is getting older. I hope that I have her for many more years. But
Yeah.
even though she had planned all those things, because my mom has been my example of really building that financial relationship for me, I'm like, let me know where to access that. Let me know who your policies with. Let me know your passwords. I want to be able to get on the phone and talk to the right people, as opposed to saying, I know she had a policy. I don't know who this policy is
Yeah.
with. I don't know who I should call. So I'm like, make that information accessible for me. And I know right now, for me, my children are young, right? So it's not like, God forbid, something happens
Yeah.
to me, my children could call, but I have that information with my mom. Like, I emailed her this information. I trust her, right? Someone trustworthy. I know she's not going to just go into my account information, and like a financial planner. So they have all that information. God forbid something happens to me. Y'all know what to do with the accounts. Y'all know who the money goes to, and it should hopefully be a smooth transition. But God willing, they won't have to do that for a long time.
But you know, you said something also that was pretty good. And most people just listening to you, they were like, I didn't have a mom like you to teach me finances. And that's the reason why I'm not good with money. Hey, cut there, you know what? Okay. I didn't have a mom to teach me finances, and I was horrible at finances. Okay. I was so horrible that I had my credit was ridiculously low. Nobody was going to give me no credit because they could not give me no credit. I was not trustworthy. Okay. So, guess what? I started teaching my son about money and all the mistakes that I did. And I said, I did this, don't do that. I got a credit card when I was young and I just spent everything that I want to, and then I didn't pay for it and it messed up my credit. Don't do that. When you get a credit card, make sure you make your payment. When I put that so much into him that man, which is now, I wouldn't say boy, he's a man, he is better than me at money. This guy, he used to lend me money when I was a single mom. He would save his money and then lend me money, and I will pay him money with interest just to get him more excited about money. Get creative, moms. Get creative and do something so that your kids can be better than you. This is not about you anymore. This is about raising people to be better than you. And that's the reason why we're talking about a relationship with your finances, so that you can teach them to be better than you. Is that right?
That is absolutely right, Sandra. And not everyone grew up in a household or with parents that taught them about finances. You know, I was fortunate enough, my mother, who was also a single mom for a period of time, she always instilled in me the importance of saving with my money, right? So I always knew every dollar I got, I had to put something to the side. But she didn't instill in me the importance of also investing my money. So that was something I didn't learn until I already got, you know, out of college into finance. Like, okay, what's this 401k for? What's an IRA for? So I had to educate myself. Okay, save it, but how do I grow it? Right? Because we want to also grow our money so it could be more money. So with the savings is great, 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 great. But you're not going to save your way to financial freedom. You're not going to save your way to wealth. So I had to teach myself how to invest. So she started at one spot, right? And then I had to pick it up and teach myself. there's so many people out there. There's so many resources online that teach you how to manage your money well, how to save, how to invest, and that's part of what I also do too. I teach other people how to manage their money, how to save and invest. And I talk to my children about it now. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, and my daughter, I teach her about savings and I teach her about investing. So she'll see me, looking at stock screens, and she'll say, can you pull up Roblox? I want to see what Roblox is doing. Can you pull up Disney? I want to see how much Disney costs. I didn't know what a stock chart was at 8 years old, right? And I know now. So I'm teaching her now. So by the time she gets in my age, hopefully she's like, just
Ooh, she's going to be amazing.
Like a beast. Like she just knows so much more than I know. So you just have to educate yourself, right? If you didn't have someone to teach you, that was then. Like at this point now that you realize you need those skills, you can teach yourself now and your children. Y'all can learn together. Whatever you're learning, teach it to them, right? So they don't have to start where you started. They could, start where you finish, pick it up and kind of run with it. Like when you're in a race, right? Like you see the Olympics and the people are running and then they hand them the baton. It's like, let them pick up where you left off and let them take it, to the finish line. But you have to continue to educate yourself and then teach your children what you're learning.
Yeah. And I don't make any apologies for the things that I said. So what is going to come out of my mouth now? I make no apologies for it. Don't be stupid. Okay. Don't be stupid, single moms. Don't be stupid making excuses about everything that you didn't have. And I didn't have this, and that's why my kids don't have it, and all that kind of stuff. That kind of thinking is just going to open a big hole and swallow you. Stupidity just gets bigger when you feed it. So I'm saying, don't be stupid. Stop making excuses. Start thinking about how you can do things better than what was taught to you. If you don't know about finances, learn about it. I'm into everything that have to be finances, even Bitcoins. I'm talking to everybody about Bitcoin, whatever investing, whatever you can do to grow your money, that's what you should be doing. But excuses is not something that you should be holding on to. You need to let go of excuses. Whatever it is never going to help you do better. It's only going to make you more stupid, and it's only going to make you say stupid stuff and do stupid stuff and have kids that have the same stupid attitude. So I make no excuse. I make no apologies for what I just said. If that is your thinking, just change it and do better. I mean, that's the whole point. You can't just wallow in self-pity and, oh, I don't know this. Oh, I don't know that. Oh, I don't know that. Just stop. Okay. I would not be able to achieve the things that I did if I had sat down and my mom didn't teach me this. My parents didn't teach me that. Right, Donna? Like, you can't just sit down and think about everything that nobody showed you. We have YouTube. We have libraries. We have so many things. And we have people like Tedona that can train you how to invest your money. So with that said, on training you how to invest your money, increase your net worth, how do we do that? I mean, how do they do that? Because I'm already doing my stuff.
I'm glad you asked that, Sandra. So like I said, savings is great. I definitely encourage people to have a savings account to save their money. But after a certain point, you're going to need your money to grow a lot faster than that 0.1% or 1% you're getting in your savings account. So then you're going to have to start investing in the stock market, right? Or investing in cryptocurrency, investing in different places so your money could grow. And a lot of people, because they don't know enough about it or they don't understand it, means they're not going to do it. And because they're not doing it, they're leaving a lot of money on the table because because investing is really going to be able to compound your money a lot faster than a savings rate, right? It's going to grow and grow and grow a lot faster. So if you don't understand, then start basic. Start from your job. If your job offers you a 401k, a 403b, a pension plan, whatever it may be, get into it, right? Get into it. Contribute as much as you contribute. If they match what you're contributing, then put as much as you can put in, right? Because it's free money. If you put in 5% of your income and they put in 5% of your income, you have 10%, right? So that is free money. So start with your job. If your job offers something. If your job does not offer something, then you can always get an IRA, which is an individual retirement account. You can open that up at pretty much any brokerage account. I know a lot of people say, well, what's the best place to open up your IRA? It's almost like saying, what's the best place to open up your checking account, right? Brokerage accounts, most of them all do the same thing. So you can kind of just compare which one you think is better for you, but there's not like one that's the best account. Like I have my brokerage accounts at different places, but it's really like a checking account. There's not one that I can necessarily say, go with this institution, but definitely open up an IRA if you don't have one. And with an IRA, it could be self-directed, which means you pick your own investments, or it could be managed by the institution where they kind of pick index funds and mutual funds for you. They're managing the account for you. So I teach people how to manage their own money, right? Because nobody's care about your money more than you care about your money, or your children. Your children care about your money too.
Yeah, they do.
But nobody cares about your money more than you. So I teach people how to manage their own money and how to pick their own investments and how to do the research. But definitely, I recommend if you have an employee that offers a retirement plan, make sure you're contributing. Hands down, make sure you're contributing. If your employee doesn't, then definitely open up an IRA account with an institution or a brokerage account. So IRA does have some like income limitations and contribution limits. But most people can contribute into an IRA because you have to make like under $120,000, and a lot of people fall into that bucket. But with a brokerage account, there is no income limitations. Like you can make $1 million and open a brokerage account. You could put in however much money you want into there, but you definitely should have at least one of those, if not all three of those. So that's definitely really important.
Yeah. So with that said, single mom, be wise. Okay. Be wise with your finances, just like you are wise with raising your children, just like you are wise of waking up in the morning and trying to go to work, just like you are wise about getting to know yourself and being better than yourself and becoming a better version of yourself. Your finances is also part of becoming a better version of yourself. That's how you're going to help your kids become a better version of yourself. Because what's the point of having such a great self-esteem and all that if you don't have money to take care of your bills, if you don't have money to take care of your kids, and nobody's telling you to be money hungry? That is not the point that we are trying to make here. What we are trying to tell you is that be healthy with your money. We are trying to tell you be wise with it so that when something challenging happens in your life, you can relax because you know you have something that's going to cover you. And if that doesn't happen, you will not be able to relax when you are actually sick. How can you be sick and worrying about money at the same time? It doesn't work out very well, let me tell you. So make sure that you can take care of your finances, connect with Tedana and let her know so that she can inform you what you can do, how you can improve. Doesn't matter what your situation is. Think about first how you can start saving some of your money, and then think about how you can invest it. You cannot invest what you don't have. Okay, so start thinking how you can take some of that money, the money that you go to McDonald's, the money that you do the DoorDash, and the money that you all of those stuff that you have been, because lately I've been buying a lot of DoorDash, but I'm not a single mom anymore. I don't have any babies to take care of. So I can do whatever I want with my money. There's nobody to take care of, it's just me and my husband. But that was not the situation before. Okay. So I had to cut down and all the junk food and the movies and all of those things just to put away some money. And of course, I still had fun because from time to time, I'll be like, we're going to do this no matter what. But that don't matter what was able to take out from whatever I was saving. A little bit of this to have fun because you have to enjoy your journey, but you cannot enjoy the journey if you're always worried about finances, because that will cause you ulcers and bladder problems, and it's going to cause you mental problem, and it's going to cause you all kind of stress problems, and you don't want it. So really take care of your finances, connect with somebody, an expert like the amazing, beautiful young woman that we have in front of us right here with 15 years of experience, with that face, young face that she have. Oh my goodness. But you know what it is that she don't have to worry about her finances. So you want to look young like that and have a fresh looking skin? Believe me, start taking care of your finances and you will look youthful like Tadana. So take care of your finances. And we are not saying that we are going to turn you into a millionaire, because that is up to you. We are saying that Tadana is going to help you be wiser about your money. Right, Tadana?
Yes, absolutely, Sandra. And thank you for the compliments. But yes, to your point, you have to make those temporary sacrifices now, right? You have to sacrifice now like other people aren't sacrifices, so you can live later like other people isn't living. So you don't want to necessarily wait till you're in your 60s, in your 70s to start living your life. You want to live your life when you still have more life to live. So you want to make some of those sacrifices now. You want to start early, right? While time is on your side, and try to put as much away as you can. So when you get to your, 40s or whatever age you want to start doing a little bit more, you have the money to do it. You don't have to say, well, when I retire, I can't travel until when I retire, I can't do this. Like retirement is not a particular age. Retirement does not have to be 65 years old. Retirement is pretty much, excuse me, a number. When you get enough money that you don't have to work, you can retire. You don't have to wait till you're 65 years old. So you just have to work on putting that money aside and letting it grow faster through investments so you can live the life that you want, right? Money is pretty much freedom. So once you get enough money, then you're free to do whatever you want to do.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for sharing that with all the single moms. So where can they follow you? Could you tell us about that?
Sure. So on my Instagram page, I give a lot of tips and financial advice, which is legendary_wealth builders. So you can find a lot of my content there. I also have a Facebook page, which is Legendary Wealth Builders. And my website is www.legendarywealthbuilders.com. So feel free to follow me, message me. I reply. I'm like a real person. So you're going to get me directly.
Okay. And I want you to share a quote that you shared before and explain us what that quote is. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this part of the video is what I am going to be putting on Instagram. So 1, 2, 3, go.
Done is better than perfect. A lot of people get caught up on everything has to be just right before they make a move, before they do anything. And it's pretty much an excuse and it keeps you stuck. So let's not procrastinate for things to be perfection or perfect. Done is better than perfect. So just get started.
She said it. That was good. And I am putting this on Instagram. Okay. That's just perfect. And you said it so nice, so smooth, so great. When do we talk about finances and everything turn out so smooth like that? Usually when people talk about finances, it's just a drag. People hate talking about finances. You know why? Because something is, you're not doing it right. That's why you hate talking about it. But when you can talk about it and feel comfortable about it, you're going to be able to smile and laugh about the mistakes that you made and all of that stuff. So I'm telling you guys, handle your finances, have a relationship with your finances, and then things are going to get better. It's not going to fix your emotional problems or your boyfriend issues. Okay. Which it might, actually. It might, because we were talking about that before, but that is going to be for another show. Okay, another show. But thank you all for listening and watching this. If you want to tell your story, if you're an expert in a particular area, if you're an ex-single mom that have something of value you can share with the single moms that are listening, or if you are currently a single mom and you have something of value that you believe that you want to share with us, please go ahead and do so. My name is Sandra Graves. You can send me an email to info@singlemom.today. Oh my goodness, this is the first time I said that so smoothly without thinking about which email I was going to give you. And then connect with me. Also follow us on Instagram. And I know it's going to be confusing, but if you're looking here on YouTube, it's in vivo live, the actual ending of this address, and Instagram is in vivo live. It just means live in Spanish is en vivo, which is en vivo live. And that's how I started all this. But now I'm doing live with single moms. Okay. So don't make it confuse you. Just look at the address in the bottom of this, the description box of this video, and you're going to find how to follow me on Instagram. And I'm also going to put Tay Donner's link to her Instagram or her website right at the description box so that you can also follow her there. Go ahead, put your comments or your questions, and we will be happy to respond to you. And everyone else, God bless you. Thank you, Tay Donner, for today, for giving me a smile, for sharing that blessed face that you have, along with those wisdoms that God had placed in your life. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra, for having me here. I really, truly appreciate you and what you're doing. And thank you to the audience members for tuning in. I hope everyone got some good nuggets to take away. So I appreciate you all.